Students have expectations for college that usually look something like this: hanging out with friends and having a good time. But this is reality: sitting in the library, studying, and worrying about deadlines. But what is it that makes a student look like this?
It's called stress. It's your physical, emotional, and mental response to change. And if you'd like to see what it looks like, well, you just have to take a trip to the Vogel Library.
Here, students are faced with stress from homework. That's okay though, because without it, people would not get a lot done. It provides an extra burst of adrenaline that helps you finish your final paper or face other challenges. It's positive stress, a short-term physiological tensing and added mental alertness that subsides when the challenge has been met, enabling you to relax and carry on with normal activities.
However, if you can't return to a relaxed state, then this stress becomes negative.
Students admit they did not realize how much negative stress there would be in college.
With my pre-med major, it's pretty rigorous, and I'm definitely more stressed than I thought I would be.
I knew that it would be more time-consuming than high school per se, but I didn't realize how much work I would be doing.
In the Pathway Center, located on the 3rd floor in the Vogel Library, students are able to speak with counselors such as Molly Wirtz, who have tips for calming down.
So getting 6 to 8 hours of sleep every night, eating a healthy, balanced diet, and then we go into, how are you managing your time, or how are you perceiving how much time you have? Because sometimes we hear students say, I don't have any time. But then if we sit down and look at their schedule with them, we can find that they might have more time than what they're thinking that they do.
Wirtz is a firm believer in overcoming stress, but she says sometimes you have to take a break from the homework. So go on a run and enjoy the outdoors. Or perhaps sit down, play some music, and relax. That way, you won't be spending so much time here looking like this. Reporting for WTV8 News, I'm Danny Housholder. Students are back on campus and boxes are once again filling up the dorms. It can only mean one thing: it's move-in day.
And moving in is really important. After all, you only get one shot at it, and it can set the tone of your room for the rest of your year.
For some tips on arranging an upperclassman dorm, I asked junior Eric Voggy what his thoughts are on setting up a suite. This year, he will call it the residence home, which provides living space for 8 people with 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a common room.
Definitely having things that are appropriate in each place. Maybe your room could be more things that you would like to have for your own personal time, and then maybe having things that would benefit the entire room, maybe sharing with other people in the main room, and then obviously other personal belongings in the bathroom.
Of course, not all students live in these suites. Most first years and a few of the upperclassmen live in a more traditional dorm with 1 or 2 roommates. Here they have to take a little bit different of a setup for their room.
Bradley Waller is a first-year student living with 1 roommate in Clinton Hall. He heard from Wartburg Res Life that it would be beneficial to loft his bed for some extra space. Fortunately for Waller, his roommate already had that taken care of.
My roommate called me and told me he had a unique loft and I wasn't going to need one. So when we got here, we tried setting it up, and after about 4 hours of work, we got it to look like that.
With Waller and other younger students in mind, Voggy offered one more piece of advice that Wartburg residents should consider after settling in.
I would say the biggest no-no, definitely leaving things out and not putting things back in the right place, and then those things can get lost.
So while you're moving in this year, try to find an organized system that works for your room. And once you do, try not to mess it up. Reporting for WTV News, I'm Danny Housholder. Wartburg students are having trouble surfing the web wirelessly. Students living in Grossman and Leah Hall say their wireless internet runs too slow, or it doesn't work at all. ITS Director Gary Whipperman says the problem is that students are using too many wireless items. Whipperman says the connection works great when students are using it for computers only. But he says connecting game systems to the wireless slows down web speed for the entire building. Hello and welcome back to Good Morning Waverly. Here we're going to have your full weekend forecast. It's 6:37 right now. Currently it is 45 degrees outside with relative humidity of 74%. Wind at 3 miles per hour and your dew point 39 degrees. There's some clouds right now. Ignore that right there. But there are some clouds out there. Unfortunately, we have some graphic problems. A little bit of a chance of a rain. You saw some showers this morning. Hopefully that's not bringing waters from your eyes like it is from the skies, am I right? Okay, let's move on to your tomorrow's forecast. A little bit cheesy, but we'll go with it. The high is 58 degrees. It's going to be mostly sunny with winds from 15 to 17 miles per hour coming out of the northwest corner. And your sunrise is at 6:57 a.m. Wake up, watch it. It's beautiful here in Iowa. Let's move on to your weekend forecast. It's not going to be as good as last weekend, but hey, not too bad, right? High tomorrow, like I said, 58 degrees and a low of 31. Yeah, that's right. We're going to see below the freezing temperature already. Seems too early for that, right? And on Sunday, we've got sunny weather, or sunny skies, high of 60 and a low of 39. Then on Monday, to start off your week, you know, you're going back to work, seems rough, but the weather won't be too bad. 70 degrees with a low of 50, sunny skies.